Students who are joining now and the students who are in the second year, my parents, my colleague, Sai Shri Garu, Venugopal Reddy Garu, our special guest for today, Dr. Kumar Vijay Mishra ji, Dr. Venugopal Rao Garu, Dr. Sunil and Dr. Rajnikant, also members of the Student Affairs Group, Sai Prashant and all his colleagues. First of all, I would like to congratulate the parents for making a very right decision to bring your children, to get them admitted here. As we all saw in the AV, this is an institution with very strong legacy. In fact, we have, particularly when it all began with the law program, and today the law courses in Symbiosis are rated even better than many of the national law universities, national law schools, etc. Similarly, the MBA program is also very highly rated. I have attended these kind of interaction programs with the MBA students also. And I still remember the kind of enthusiasm and the kind of passion for the profession that they were bringing. And I have no doubt at all that the engineering school, the Symbiosis Institute of Technology, will also flourish. It will do well. And therefore, as a parent, to take this decision, I mean, your child could have been admitted anywhere, but to choose Symbiosis, that to the Hyderabad campus, is something that needs to be appreciated. Typically on these kind of occasions, one of the most boring parts is the chief guest speech. So I don't want to give a long speech or anything. I just want to tell three things to all of you. The first thing which I want to share with you is that we have reached a world today where possibly technology can solve every conceivable human problem. I remember almost 2 decades ago, I was offered I forget the title of the course, but the meaning of that course was that there are some problems which possibly will never be solved in our generation. So how to still work with them. That was the kind of a theme of that course. And I had taken that course. Lots of interesting things were told, but the conclusion was that these problems will never be solved, at least not in our generation. But due to the advent of technology, particularly in the last 10-15 years, today we can't say anything about any such problem. Some of the most complicated health problems, some of the most challenging problems of let us say, climate change, whatever it is, there is possibly a solution. If the solution is not yet available, it is waiting to be discovered. So we are at a very, very exciting time that technology could potentially. In my days, I remember there were many engineering students, but because of this kind of a lack of opportunities, many of them would get into the civil services, many of them would get into management. I also went to a business school, and of course I went to the IAS. Many of my batchmates, both in the business school and in the IAS, they were engineers. Possibly they felt that the world of engineering, the world of technology is not exciting enough, and therefore they should look at other opportunities. But I don't think that is the reality today. The more you kind of take interest in how some of the most pressing problems can be solved using technology, the more you will like your job, the more you will like the choice that you have made for your studies. I'm also happy to share with you that here in Telangana, as a government, we are extremely technology focused. In fact, in the last 13 years since 12 years actually, since Telangana has been a new state, we would have deployed technology-enabled solutions in more than 100 cases, 100 use cases for the benefit of our citizens, for the benefit of our people. And in the college, if the faculty, the students think of some issue, and if they want to try it out, if they want to access data, today, as you know, AI is driving most of the new generation technologies, but to develop your algorithms, you need lots of data. So if you want any such support in accessing the data, in trying out your pilots, in training the data, we'll be very happy to support you here in the government. So this is something for the faculty also. The students have enthusiasm, but the faculty needs to channelize it to the right place. The second thing which I would like to share with you, and again this is a phenomenon which has become very important, particularly in the last 10 days. Of course, the engineering school is new. We just have 2 batches, I mean your batch and the previous batch. But after a few years, the issue of completing the course, getting a job, getting placed, all these issues will come. Placement will become a matter of concern. But I can also share something with you. I'll give you a real example. Instead of beating around the bush, there is another very good engineering school in Hyderabad, which is called the International Institute of Information Technology, Triple IT, as we call it popularly. So I was on the board of Triple IT for more than 11 years. And I remember during the board meetings, typically which would be held in January, the director will tell us about the placement scenario, like how many students got placed, which companies came, what is the average salary, what is the highest salary, and things like that. And I remember in these 11 years, year after year after year, the number was very, very impressive. Every year it was better than the previous year, and so on and so forth. But I remember every time I would ask one question, and it was not a casual question or just a time pass kind of question. The question that I would ask was, despite such phenomenal placement, how many students are not participating in the placement program? How many students are opting out of placement? And the director would then pull out some papers and all that, he will read and he will tell. And I remember year after year, that number also was becoming bigger, which is kind of surprising. When great placements are happening, some of the biggest tech firms, consultancy companies, overseas MNCs are coming, average salaries are increasing, higher salaries are increasing. Why is it that some students are dropping out of placement? And on a few occasions, I asked the director to give me little bit more disaggregated number. Who are these students who are opting out of placement? So all of us also can understand intuitively there will be some group of students who want to study more. Either they want to go for a master's. Some of you may know this, in this part of the world, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, lots of students go to the US to do their masters. So some of them continue to do that. Or some of them still want to study an MBA. So they don't want any job or anything, they want to continue studies. Some number of students also want to appear in the civil services, so they feel that if they get into a job, they won't have time to prepare, so they want undivided attention to the preparation. They don't participate in the placement. But the real big contributor to these numbers of students who are not joining the placement program are students who have decided to become entrepreneurs. Many of the students today have some thought, have some understanding of how they can themselves start a company and start solving those problems. In a popular language, we call them startups. And this phenomenon is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. It is already happening to a great extent in big institutions like IITs, IITs. But I'm very, very sure that when your time comes, when you are to graduate, many of you would be also motivated that I will not work for someone else. I will start my own company. I want to define an area where my capabilities, my ideas can work well, and I can therefore, instead of wasting time and working and wasting, just not doing something which is not fulfilling or not satisfying for me, I will become a starter. I'll start my own enterprise. I'll recruit people. I'll kind of go to market. I'll take this forward. So this is bound to happen. In the initial phases, a few students may do that, but as the institute becomes more and more established, more settled, hundreds of, many of you would do this. But the point which I'm trying to make is that to become a successful entrepreneur also requires a training. It doesn't happen by chance. And in institutions like IIT, IIT, etc., there are actually incubation labs, there are innovation programs, and every student goes through that process. And those who are inclined for entrepreneurship, they understand, they get a very good sense whether they have it in them or not. And those who don't have it may continue to apply for regular placements and all. But a majority of students discover that they have that mindset, they have that passion, they have that commitment, they have some ideas which potentially can do well and therefore they pivot. They complete their course for sure, but instead of taking a job, they start their own company. So again, this is not only addressed to the students, but also to directors like Dr. Rajnikant and others, that how quickly can you start the innovation program. Of course, when you mentioned this, that a new campus is coming, which is actually an innovation center in which the college will be functioning. That's a very progressive idea. I haven't seen anything of this kind. Typically, there is a college and then there is a small space, which is the incubation space, but you're flipping it, which is very, very promising. So do keep an eye on this line of profession also, that you can yourself become an entrepreneur and you can do great things. In fact, if you look at who are the poster boys of today's world, they are all people who chose to become an entrepreneur very, very early. In fact, some of them actually dropped out of college. As we know, Mark Zuckerberg is a very good example. Steve Jobs is a very good example. They all actually dropped out of college. They got admission in the best college in the world. Zuckerberg was at Harvard, Steve Jobs was at Stanford. But even that did not tempt them to stay back and finish their studies. They moved on. And there are hundreds of examples in our country also. One of my best friends, some of you may know him, is the founder of this company called Oyo. He did not even complete his college. He's an intermediate, technically he's just an intermediate qualified person. But he has created a big empire. So that is the second thing which I wanted to tell. And the last thing which I wanted to tell, that again it was captured, some of it was captured in the AV. All of us should feel very, very grateful that destiny has brought us here. In fact, 3 days ago, I was in a similar kind of a event, and a speaker who was speaking along with me, he told something very, very touching. He told me, he's from Gurgaon, and he told me that if I was born one house to my right, I would have been a washerman, because that was the washerman's. Dhobi jisko bolte hain, chakli wale inti pakkane undedi. Andlo nenu putti unte chakli wadu kadanu jeevinchevaadu. If I had been born in a house to my left, I would have been a vegetable vendor, because that was the house of a vegetable vendor. I mean, I was talking about his childhood. Gurgaon was not the way we see it as today. It was a rural kind of a place. And therefore he commented that just through a stroke of luck, I was born in this house. My parents were educated. They wanted me to give a good education. And today I'm here addressing all of you. He's a very big investor today. And many of us are here. I'm here in this position, not because I've come from heaven. I have some Einstein-like IQ or anything. But it's just fate. It's just destiny. So please think about those who did not enjoy this piece of luck. Can we do something from them? All of you have got so far. I'm sure your parents have supported. There are hundreds of others who lack this support, who lack this kind of ecosystem. But how can we do something which helps them move up? So when I saw the AV and the mention that I guess that is all in Pune, the AV was not from Hyderabad, but there are lots of opportunities. Fortunately, you are in a rural setting. There are plenty of villages and small towns. There are lots of young children, young people. Many of them don't have parental support in deciding what to do, what career to pursue, what profession to do, how to develop an interest in studies per se, how to make learning joyful. And many of you, if you have interest, if you have inclination, many opportunities. The government itself encourages volunteers and others to support various kinds of social development programs. So this is the third thing which I want to tell you, that be very cognizance of the fact that you are here not because of any privilege, not because of any entitlement. It was just through your destiny. And it turned slightly this way or that way. It would have been somewhere else, doing something very, very insignificant and meaningless. So always show that gratitude by doing something very positive and concrete. So the final thing which I want to tell is that unfortunately I'll be leaving early. Dr. Mishra, please excuse me. I was very keen to hear you, but I need to reach somewhere by 12:30. But let us collectively wish all the students all the best. You are of course, far from the city, but Hyderabad is a very happening city. I'm also the secretary in the government, looking after tourism, looking after sports. So if you ever want to attend any concert or participate in any sports or watch any cricket match or IPL or anything, it's a very happening city. So please reach out to me through your faculty. I'm sure the faculty will discourage you. Their interest will be that you remain like a prisoner on the campus and study all the times, but do find time for recreation and hobbies and all that. So good wishes to all of you very once again, and my sincere apologies, I have to leave in the middle. So thank you very much.